Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to yet another Facebook Live. Today's day 14. This is Mahesh Kadaran, a spreadsheet trainer, welcoming you on occasion of Dasara. It was a very special day, and hope you might have all enjoyed your Dasara's holiday. And being tomorrow Sunday, so you might be having a double weekend offering as well. Yeah. So great. So today, just wanted to touch base on certain aspects of uh, Dasara's perspective. And I thought that let's not today is a best occasion of uh, 10. No, when I think of Dasara, I think of Ravan. So I always think of the 10 heads, what Ravan has. And I always used to think in my childhood also, how, like, we have one head also, we could not manage. And Ravana has 10 heads. How does he manages this all things? So it's really remarkable that how it thinks about what are kind of emotions and dreams and all is going on, right? So a lot of things are going on, and I was thinking that let's today teach you about that things as well. So yeah, so today, are you ready to conquer the 10 spreadsheet evils which is holding you back? Now this is like 10 heads of Dasara's Ravan, which Raman has destined. That's what I'm saying. If yes, type yes in the comment box. And if you're watching live, thank you so much for watching it live, for taking so efforts in on this particular day as well. And if you're watching live the replay, great. Thank you so much for taking out your time and watching your this recording. Right? What if I bring order to your spreadsheets, just like the prime of your good or evil, like what this raw drama did to Ramana, right? So I will tell you my story so that it can relate with you. Okay, when I was starting working in spreadsheet way back in 2002 and 2003, I was overwhelmed by chaos, messed up data because I was not, like I said, I was nobody else to support me. I don't know anything about Excel. I had something about knowledge about Excel, but not so that much that an expert can give me. I can be trained. Incorrect formulas, I used to uh, mumble up the formula. So what I used to do, there's another aspect I used to write in the book which I showed you in one of the Facebook live. You can always watch back that Facebook live. And also, what I used to do is that sometimes some formulas was very difficult to even to browse because that would take a lot of time to which formula which is there and everything. So that's kind of indexing and everything has came. But what I did after that, I just mumbled up. So I used to by heart. So certain formulas used to remain in my mind, and I know that I need to do that. So beforehand only I will buy it, and when I go to office, I will do that. So there was no guidance as such ki how to approach the formulas and everything. So I remember the frustration of inside me. I was battling multiple enemies at that point of time. You can say when it relate with Dasara. But then, just like Rotterham's strategy to defeat, I I somehow discovered my 10 ways of defeating those particular frustrations or evils as a one by one, and that's what I will be sharing with you today, so that you can also learn from that particular wins or 10 wins by which you can also be a data mastery, and from inconsistent data entries to the overload of data loaded. I will show you how to turn into that things, right? So let's get started for the first thing. Yeah. The first thing is that inconsistent data entry. Now, every I know every person who is dealing with spreadsheet, you might have come across with this particular thing, which is called as inconsistent data entry, right? This has always been there because uh, you see, inconsistent data entry will be problematic when your formats are not correct. Now, if you remember and if you go back to your spreadsheet, you will always see that if the data formats are not in correct thing, you always have a problem. And that's what is happening always for every person, be it be it any coach or be it a working professional or be it anyone, it will be always be there. So that is more important that you need to do these things, right? Now, the second one is uh, incorrect formulas, like using the wrong formulas for the task. Now, this is very, very important. Uh, you like this has happened with me also while I was doing some formulas, and like what I used to do earlier. When I used to get the data from my boss or from the person who is sending me the data, I first put the formula. I don't even check whether the data is correct or not. I don't even see whether the data is appropriate for or not, or whether the data is right or not. So my boss used to never see that. Okay. But out of a one blue moon, he was just roaming around and he just came out. He saw me this doing. But it took him for 2.5 years to learn that and see me that what I was doing. Because never did he 2.5 years, he never checked me what I was doing. So this is most important thing, that you first have to understand data. That is why I teach my today's students and my target clients and everything. I teach them that how you see the data, you visualize the data. You first check the data, take some time, just be relax and check the data. Don't be in a hurry to put the formula. Say formula you will put, you're always there, you have to put the formula, otherwise the spreadsheet is not of use, right? But first you check the data, whether data is correct or not, whether that is good or not. That's more important, right? So this is very important thing which we always uh, forget about that things. So that is important thing which you need to take care about, right? Now now this is most important thing. And the second thing is the third point: messy data layouts, scattered informations, no proper structure. This is most important, because normal what happens is that we don't follow a certain structure, because whenever we get the data, we do a lot of things and we get concentration, right? But there is a certain way of putting the data, there's a certain way of representing the data, and there's a certain way of presenting the data. So there's a lot of things is there which I also encountered in my life, which always I seen that there was no proper structure. uh, there used to be some problematic some features and everything, but nowhere it was not in alignment with what my requirement, my target audience was requiring. So that was the important thing which always I have forgotten, and I thought that let's do it, because this is what I learned in a very bad manner. So this is most important. The fourth thing: unorganized sheets, no naming conventions for tabs and data. How many of you make this mistake? This is a very common mistake. You don't rename the sheets. You rename as sheet one, sheet two, sheet three, sheet four. And afterwards you open the file. Oh wow, what did I do? Right? This happened with me countless times. Because what our aim is that as soon as data आ जाए जल्दी से करो काम खत्म करो अपना काम हो है, right? But you never know that that spreadsheet will always be used for your further references also. That is a major mistake which we always forget as a spreadsheet user. So please note, whenever you open a spreadsheet, first you name the file. That's more important. Second, you rename the sheet name what you want. Then you go ahead and do that, because a lot of things we never think about that. But this all things are very short evils and small evils which will take you a lot of pain, and it will give you a lot of stress also. That's more important, right? That's the fifth evil which you are talking about: no backup or version control. That losing the work due to no versioning. That means nowadays you have the auto save option by default. But if what if you don't have that auto save option, like you are not enabled that? So the major thing is that you have to always enable. That's a major point. But if you don't enable, it's your duty, moral duty, to control s or save the file manually. Because if you don't do it, you will lose all the things. So this is more important, and this is majority of mistakes. Lot of people this basic mistake. So this is very important, that you have to save the file. So as soon as you put, just see that what else your gender changes, just control is good. That habit has to come, right? And the perfect example, I would say, brushing your teeth. Who taught you to brush your teeth? Maybe your parents, maybe your mother, your father, maybe your sister, your brother, right? And that one time or two times you might have made a mistake. You forgot and you drank the tea, or you drank milk, or you just left out. Sometimes doing we childhood we often forget, right? But then again comes back the same thing. Why did you brush the teeth? Why did you do that? Why didn't you do that? You do it. The next morning they will get it and do that. So that's a habit which is formed, right? So same way you need to do the habit, that you need to understand that habit is very important, and this habit is really very good for health also, right? So you can't miss it, but especially for the spreadsheet health. Okay, so this is this the sixth point: lack of data validation leads to error in input. Now, this is very for the advanced people. Okay, advanced people means advanced users of a spreadsheet who are at a level two, when I would say. And they know the basic things and everything. They use a lot of data validation. Data validation means what? You need to validate some data, certain conditions you need to check, or you need to put something in filters in bunch of things. Like for example, you always have to select level one, level two, level three. So you can put it in a group of things and you can just select. So don't need to make the mistake again typing. That will save a lot of time. Second thing, you don't lose the data formatting, which I told this third or fourth evil, which I was talking about. And also it will look at formatted. And that will be very good. And also in future also, if you want to add some options, you can add it. So that's more important, which people don't miss on. Okay. So this is very important, that the lack of data validation. So please ensure whenever you use the data validation, it's not necessary that you need to use the validation. That's why I said it is only for the uh, advanced people, right? This is what is there. Okay, now the seventh point is overloaded with manual work, not using the automation. And now this is again for the advanced people. Remember one thing, without automations also, I have worked for over 15 years, 10 to 15 years. Okay, I have less used automation. That's why in my training also you will never see automation, because I believe, and that is what I have seen success of my students also. Those who have followed my model of learning, have got success, because the moment you touch the automation, you lose the sanity of that particular aspect. You lose the sanity of your mind. Your brain will not work. You always depend on that particular AI or the automation. So at the most, like, there is an option of life and death, or there is a time, or there is a event which leads to that particular position, then you can use like you can use the automation tool. But till that time, don't use it, because very very important thing, you if you use it, you will lose the game of spreadsheet, and that will always be a problematic for you in the future as well. Right? When we come to the eighth, the third last, inefficient use of functions, that not knowing the right functions for tasks. This is exactly the same which I was talking about. The first point, the second point, incorrect formulas. You have to understand the data. So again, it is coming connecting the dots. If you see, I'm coming back to the basics only. That is why in my basic course also, I teach the same thing. I always say that you first visualize the data, what you want from the data, how the data is reacting to you, what kind of data it is, what kind of columns are there. Just understand the usefulness of that particular column. Just understand the importance of that particular data. Then you automatically, your mind will work. And this is not overnight. Okay, I caution you, I mind you, don't take it like you what I say, that it just comes overnight. No, it will never come overnight. Took me a lot of years, but yes, for you it might take less time, because I have certain model which if you can follow it, you will get that. But it will not happen overnight. You have to work hard to do that. So that is more important with that, right? So this is always a thing which we always forget. And that's the thing which we always have to do, come what may happen. Now the ninth thing, no conditional formatting, data hard to read visually. This is very important. Uh, See, why you make the data? This I question I asked, my boss asked me while I was working in year 2008 when I was in banking. Just I was stepped into the banking career. At that point of transition, I was just transitioned from the BPO to banking. That one question, दिमाग का बत्ती जला दिया. He asked me one thing, Mahesh, why do you think data should be visually presented? Because I was very, very bad. Like I said, yesterday I did a SWOT analysis. I told you I was very bad in presentation skills. So I was very good in putting the formulas and rearrange the data and everything. But the presentation skill, the exact essence of the data, I was not doing. So he always asked that, why Mahesh, data is visually presented? And that question answer I did not have. And this question when he asked, when I put down the papers. He had a meeting with me. So when I put down the paper, he asked me, come to my room. And he has a cabin. So we both discussed. We had a lot of discussion about 2 hours. And he was just discussing me, why Mahesh, you did this? Why you? He didn't ask about the papers and that's a different thing. But he asked this question because he wanted to highlight the mistakes which I committed for over the years when I was working with him, and he wanted to highlight the positiveness also where I worked. So that's the way I learned a lot of leadership skills. So that's what normally when you go to put down the papers. Normally I've seen, and my colleagues also have seen. My experience, major of the bosses would say that why you're putting down the paper, what exactly is need, what is your problem, but that question was not there in our discussion talk. He always discussed about what is your positiveness, what you have done for the years that has impacted the company a lot. A lot of people are talking. They may not come to you directly, but they have always conveyed my regards, their regards to you. So that's one thing which I got well. He felt. The second thing he told me about the mistakes. So this was one of the mistakes. So I never really got the answer what to do, how to read the data visually. That's when he told that Mahesh, whatever you do now, that will never make that unless and until you make the data visually applicable, appealing. That's more important. Okay. So this is what he told me. And this is very like a game changer for me because in next job, I focused on that and really it impacted my promotion. The very first year, I got a lot of promotion, good promotion, I would say. And my boss was very happy because during the corporate job interviews they don't have a time and normally the bosses don't come majorly they can by the HRs. Okay, right now I don't know the process how it is going on, but what I am doing, I am sharing is all about the previous years, like from 2017 to 2007 to 2017. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So today after COVID it might have changed a lot. Now the HR have developed a lot of systems. Recently I've heard that Infosys have developed a system that they will not send a job letter. That means they are making more and more rigid for an employee to bargain with other companies also. See how the impact has changed, right? So yeah, coming back to the topic, the 10th and the last evil which frustrated me was ignoring the error checking, not using the error checking tools. Now this is the solution for this. What you know, I got one solution, that was I made a make a checker policy, and I always say to all my students, have a make a checker policy. Come what may happen, I know that might be taking a lot of task, a lot of time for the other for other member, but see that as a value added. You help that guy, the guy will help you. You be a maker for them, and you be a checker for them. So vice versa, you can help each other, and that's what impacted me a lot because when I implemented this particular policy in my job, it got me tremendous result because I didn't need to worry what I had to do. He is the one who will say that my the visuals are not correct, change the chart. My that particular validation is not correct, change the validation. My I think there's something loochy in this Q1, Q2, 4. Just check it. This is what he used to say. And when I used to be checker, I used to say that, Arey, his name was Anand. And that's not right here. I think there is something missing. I am not able to get there, but something he would have finally got me and got me the answer. So always this is thing, and the rest error checking tools are there. There are a lot of error checking tools are there if we can use it, but that's also good. This thing, so that is also important. But yes, it depends upon how you react and how to do these things. Okay, but this is what major 10 special evils are there which will haunt you forever because these are very, very common and very, very commonly executed by all the professionals, all the people who are special users. So today I have shared with you, and I hope that you will be connecting with what I am saying and smoothly transition to the change what you can do. Okay, and let me know how this Facebook Live has went and what is this kind of uh, activity is good for you or not. Okay, and do keep in this mind these 10 evils are very important because this 10 evils will always go with you. Come what may happen, you do whatever you want, but this will always come. Right. So with this, thank you so much for joining in today's Facebook Live. If you're not a part of still a Facebook group, do join my Facebook group. I put in the comment. Second thing, I'll be hosting a webinar the last week of October. I'll be sharing the date very soon, and that webinar will be free. So be free to attend that webinar. It will be like 1.5 hours. I'll be sharing golden nuggets of how to go ahead in a special journey. And see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, and God bless you.